But what would you say to those who think, look, ICPC not as effective in tackling or preventing corruption as the country would have wanted?
Yes, because I would agree in the sense that we are not very publicity. I don't want to use offensive words here. We are not into huge publicity on our activities. And that is because our act, if you go to section 64 of our act, it does not allow us to publicize especially our investigation activities. And that has been a major hold. With hindsight, with what is happening in social media today, I think there was some reasoning, because a whole lot of people today have been accused, have been investigated, have been sent to jail on social media without giving benefit to the law courts that were set up. And when your investigations don't run in the way the social media judges and investigators have agreed on, then they say you've compromised. So in a way, it's acted. So I'm happy you've given me this opportunity, because this now gives me an insight as to the expectations. But we have a media outreach in terms of mass mobilization against corruption. And this particular program, for example, has afforded me an opportunity to speak directly on the bailout issue, which, if I had published as a rejoinder, would not make page 1 or front page of the newspaper. It will go to page 42.
Interesting. But you see, there are those who think, or who will say you're just looking for a way to hide behind the fact that you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not doing as much as you should do, considering the enormity of, or the size of corruption in the country. What would you say to that?
I would say that when you had the Ebola incident, we all came as one and pumped in a lot of funding, energy, and requested expertise from everywhere. And the general populace, without even being told, if you wash your hands, you were in fact over washing your hands. Now that we have a general agreement that corruption is injurious to everybody, and everybody is speaking about it, I see the green light that if today we arrest somebody, you're not going to say, why are you arresting somebody from my community? Why are you arresting somebody from my party? There's a general agreement now that supports the anti-corruption fight. I'm more interested in anti-corruption than coming here to discuss corruption all the time, because it's not moving us forward. Let's look at solutions that would help move the country forward by individuals, like the banking sector now. In those days, public servants, civil servants would spend long hours at the bank in the queue, and you can't force them. But today, you don't need to show up in the banking hall. You can transact on your phone. Because of that electronic interface, it's moved society forward.
Part of your responsibility includes examination. So you examine, study the processes of public institutions.
Yes.
Public institutions, here I'm using it advisedly, because public institutions will include state, federal government, and their ministries, departments, and agencies. And one of your duties is to, when you finish studying, you advise, instruct, direct, and supervise a review of their processes.
Yes.
How much of that have you done? Because the same processes that have been, besides this electronic payment that you've talked about, many processes that have been seem to be the same processes that have been, that's still there.
I'm happy for the first time somebody has taken time to read my act and is asking me directly on the issue. We've done a lot in that respect. I'll take the education sector, for example.
Who are you educating, the public or those in the civil service? Because the public doesn't seem to know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Let's take the education sector, for example. In 2012, we did a study of the higher education sector. And outcome of that study led us to decide on what punitive action, what enforcement action we should take, what remedial action we should take. And the immediate result was that we, in collaboration with the National Universities Commission, shut down 26 illegal degree awarding institutions in this country. And it was highly and widely publicized. And we have a permanent team that is looking at all these mushroom, unregistered, illegal degree awarding institutions. You would hardly find them anymore. Apart from the very first day that the mass media would cover such an event, thereafter nothing happens. We have some of those proprietors in court as I speak to you being prosecuted. We have sealed up their premises. We went on to investigate the relationship that exists between lecturers and students. It was part of our report, and today we have caused investigations to go ahead in reports of sexual harassment that we've been receiving. And somebody would ask, what is your business in that? Abuse of office, using your office for private gain. And we have sustained that in various universities, and we're moving this on to various. How do we change those processes? We've given the University of Ibadan sexual harassment policy. They have it already. It's online as a guide for universities to imbibe that and use in their own institutions. You come to the primary health sector, we carried out studies, we got involved with the contract administration and rehabilitation. You find situations in that sector where contracts are given, build a primary health center. Another contract is given, equip and supply drugs. The man who got the contract for equipment and drugs procures the building, which was to be ready in 3 months, is still at foundation level. The equipment is not installed. The drugs stay in cartons and expire. And so we got involved in all this. And it was highly publicized in this country.